Honestly, I wasn't even thinking use the 3 to swipe up because I was like, it couldn't be that simple.
No, it's totally that simple.
It
We're
totally is
live, I
that
think.
simple.
We're sitting
We
here.
are.
We got Nathaniel in Chicago. We got people waiting to see this. Lund just disappeared. That was a real, how does this remote control work, Dad moment.
Come on, man.
I'm just kidding. That my dad, but I remember like when I was a little kid, my dad was like, how does this work? And then he would like when he would push a button, he would throw it at the TV. You know what I mean? Like it would make it go faster. Anyway, that being said, we're live. It's Taylor
We're live.
Primetime. Hey, Gabe, you want to roll the clip?
What time is it? What time is it? It's prime time. It's prime time. What time is it? What time is it? It's prime time. It's prime time. Oh yeah. Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Tuesday night. Hey, on Tuesdays, we talk about guitars. We get a little nerdy. And we missed it the last 2 Tuesdays, but we're back tonight with Mr. Nathaniel Murphy. Hey, Nathaniel, welcome to the show. And that's Lindsay Love. Well, there she is. Hey, Lindsay. My name is Andy L. And now, your host of Primetime, Mr. J. Parkin.
Andy's. Hey.
I like the way you introed yourself. It
Yeah,
felt
he
very
did that
natural,
last time.
not forced. Oh, I missed it last time. I must have not been really.
He did that
Yeah.
last time because somebody called him out and said, how come Andy doesn't intro himself?
And I said that Paul Schaefer never did that. So we
Yeah.
would need like another person to introduce me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We
And
should
how do we
probably,
introduce that guy? So
we
it's,
could
it's
do,
No,
we
you-
could, yeah, we could work on an arrangement or something.
It worked
where
out
it's like,
well. You did,
okay, good.
it felt natural.
we could pass the baton or throw the guitar. Lindsay could pick it up and start jazzing out on us. Anyway, hi everybody, welcome back to Taylor Primetime. It's been 2 weeks, and last week, someone said they had anxiety or they wanted was it Phil? I'm anxious to find out why we missed last week. Well, let me tell you one thing. The worst thing you can do when you're the host of this show is not do a show on a Tuesday night and forget to tell your mother.
Mm-mm.
Ooh, I got busted at like 6:03 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at that time. Maybe, I don't know, had it changed yet? Anyway, and my mom's like, I can't find you on YouTube. And I was like, oh, oops. Mom, we're not having a show. Last week, our guest that we had scheduled for last week was a fellow by the name of Jim Ward. He's the co-founding member of the band At the Drive-In. He's the co-founder of a band called Sparta. He has a solo project that's awesome. He will be joining us at some point, but he couldn't make it. So first things first, I text message Nathaniel. I'm like, hey, you want to do the show real quick? And we just couldn't put it together. Good thing, because Lindsay had something that was booked too, so she wouldn't have been able to be on the show anyway. So we couldn't be here. We apologize for that. But thank you for coming back. Okay, Nathaniel, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Honored.
Oh, this is going to be awesome. If you guys don't know Nathaniel, you're in for a treat. He's a magical guitar aficionado in my book. Works full time at Chicago Music Exchange now. We'll get to know Nathaniel a little bit more as we go. This is super easy show tonight. We're just going to hang out with Nathaniel and have a good time. Nathaniel, how this works is we have some segments throughout the show. We have to play some games. We actually have a new game that I've invented last minute for you, so that's going to be fun. We'll see if you can make it. If you can catch up, it'll be fun. I think you can do it.
Okay. All right.
I'm not going to tell you what it is right now, but it's a good. We'll get there. Anyway, welcome back,
Okay.
everybody. Like I said, Lindsay, how are you doing today?
Oh, I am fantastic, Jay. How are you?
Fantastic, because you didn't work in the office today.
I did. I worked from home. It's true.
That's awesome. You had a good day though. It was productive, I'm assuming.
It was very productive.
That's
Lots
good.
of Zoom meetings. It's still, even though we're out of the stay at home, it's just still
Yeah.
a ton of Zoom meetings. They have not went away.
There's so many, and you know what? It's like the funny part at Taylor is, Nathaniel. It's hilarious because we don't even go. I'm gonna throw myself out there and tell. I don't go to meetings in person really anymore because whenever there's a meeting, there's always like a go to meeting link or a Zoom link anyway. So I find I get so much more done because I don't have to sit in the room and do the meeting thing. So anyway, that's that. I was on a lot of meetings today too, Lindsay. It was weird, but we weren't on meetings together. Oh well. Andy, how are you?
I'm doing great, Jay.
Yeah.
Glad to be back on the air with you guys.
Glad to be
Fired
back
up about it. Yeah.
on the air. Do you have like withdrawals when you're not on the air?
No, I actually kind of like it when we're not.
There's a lot of work.
It's up tonight, you know.
There's a lot of work that goes into it. You know, you wouldn't think it's so. Our low budget guitar nerd talk show here. Speaking of that, where are you right now?
I'm in the Northwoods.
Still
in the Northwoods.
Still in the Northwoods, coming in from the Northwoods. Nathaniel, we don't really know where Andy lives. That's the point here.
Right.
We've always been trying to get the answer, but he won't tell us. All right.
It's officially mud season in the Northwoods right now.
Oh, 'cause everything's melting.
That's right.
Oh,
That means Nathaniel's in Chicago. That means everything's kind of dirty and brown on the ground, huh?
Yeah. It's been warm there.
Mixture leaves, mud, ice.
Mud and ice. This is, the worst part about Chicago. This is the one worst. Chicago's awesome, but the worst part is when the snow melts. All the landmines that you have to walk around because when it's snowy, no one picks up after their dog. It's crazy.
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
And the mines,
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
The landmines are no longer frozen either.
All right. Okay. Good to see you guys. If you're new to the show, this is how this works. It's a guitar nerd talk show. We just nerd out about guitars for a little bit. Hang out with our friend here, Nathaniel, tonight. We're going to ask him some questions. You guys know how it goes. Let's keep the nerd and guitar nerd. Let's keep the feed clean. And we don't need to chat politics or anything like that. We don't want to have to put you in timeout. I mean, Nathaniel's from Ireland and England. England, Ireland. Where exactly are you from?
So I am actually 100% Irish, although I don't sound it. So I was born in Ireland.
Okay.
Lived there for only about a year as a baby. My mom and dad used to run the local pub in the village. And then we moved to England. And I grew up in Manchester from like the age of 4, something like that. But obviously I've gone to Ireland like twice every year since we moved back. But I've been living here in Chicago for it was actually 10 years last weekend. 10-year anniversary. Yeah. Crazy. 10 years flown by.
10 years. Chicago will do that to you. All of a sudden, I had lived there for 12 years. It was weird. And Andy's from the Chicagoland.
Suburbs. Yeah, suburbs.
Which one?
Arlington Heights.
Was it Arlington? Oh, yeah. I've been there a few times.
Yeah.
Arlington Heights.
Whole coaching thing. I used to go there now and again.
There you go. Arlington Heights. All right. Andy. Oh, reminder, you guys know how this works. We got Evan's question at the end of the night. That's AKA trivia. The prize tonight is a nice little prize pack. We got a new hat that'll come your way. We got a black or brown suede strap that'll come your way. Some picks, cleaning stuff, and a copy of Bob's book. Okay. Andy, we got some hate.
We got some hate.
Yeah. So right now, Nathaniel, we got this thing we call Hug Your Haters. So if anybody writes any negative comments or any hateful comments, we kind of embrace that, right? We see that as someone raising their hand and saying, I might have had a bad day. So we want to give them some positivity. That's truly what this is all about. So we call this segment Hug Your Haters. Now, the hate did not come on YouTube. Nope. Remember that one guy who just wrote hate? That was funny. That guy was funny. But this one came up on TikTok of all places. Oh boy, TikTok. And it went like this. Wait, do you want to sing a song first?
Sure, I'd love to sing a song first.
You want to sing a song first, or you want the hate first?
No, I'll sing it first.
You sing a song first.
Yeah. I realized that the phrase "hug your haters" is not actually in this particular version, but this song is the "hug your haters" version.
Show the love.
We got some hate from a cold climate person who said his guitar is on its third bridge reglue. Our guitars get played all over the world. They hold up well in most somewhat controlled spaces. But cold is not usually the cause in this case. Cold might crack lacquer, but not cause a bridge to lift twice. Let's ask Lindsay for her advice.
Yes. All right. Now you know what the hate's about. Here we go. Cold climate. Start making your guitars last in colder climates. As of right now, I'll never buy another Taylor again. I'm on my third bridge reglue.
Yeah.
Lindsay?
Yeah.
You worked in repair for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just, I'll tell you where I'm coming from with my little verse there, Jay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Lindsay can give us the real story because she knows the answer to this. But, he says, or this person says they live in a cold climate. Okay. So first of all, the little thing that you read, there's not enough information there for us to give a complete diagnosis, right? We don't know. But when you're going to start making them work better in a cold climate? Okay. So what does that actually mean? Does that mean that if you're not living in an igloo, your house is somewhat still climate controlled, right? It's probably doubtful that it's below 60 degrees, 55 degrees in your house, right? And probably doubtful that it's above 75, right? So the climate issue is, unless the guitar is stored outside, I don't understand that at all. But normally with cold climate comes very dry air, right? Which causes guitars to shrink, causes wood to shrink, causes guitars to crack. But in the situations that I've seen in my experience is that it's an abundance of humidity and actually heat that would cause bridges to come unglued more than cold weather. So I just threw it out there. I hope I'm in the ballpark, but I'd like to hear what Lindsay has.
Yeah.
Ballpark. Speaking of baseball, okay, keep going. Lindsay.
Yeah, I mean, Andy, you're 100% right. That typically when a bridge is gonna pop off, it's because the guitar is over humidified, and the lower about the top starts to swell up a little bit. It just like lifts, and so typically it happens when the guitar is over humidified. I mean, his guitar has to be extremely dry because that means like now the top is kind of doing the opposite. It's like it's more than flat. It's probably concaving, and now it's causing the bridge wings to lift or pop off. So his guitar would have to be her guitar have to be extremely dry for that to pop off in a dry situation, or it's dry enough to where it's cracking on the top and causing separation. So I mean, it could potentially that could definitely be the case for this person's guitar. Like you said, there's not enough information in their comment to know what he means, but or she means. But I think it was a guy. But yeah, I mean, if his fret-ends are sharp, or if the guitar's cracking, or if the action's really low and it's buzzing, and those are all symptoms of a dry guitar, and the bridge is popping off, then yeah, it's probably extremely dry, and it would you would do some good getting a hygrometer, seeing where you're at, put it next to the guitar, put it in the case, and there you go. The hygrometer right there.
I tricked Nathaniel to be on this episode, and this just happened to be the hate, because right next to him, but I'm not going to have him pull it out, but right next to him, he's got he's got a guitar that's humidifying because it's got some cracks in it, and we're going to get it back to Taylor and get it fixed. But
and I had it was 100% my fault. My fault. No one else's.
It's not the cold weather's fault or the cold climate.
Cold climate.
Nah. I live indoors. So.
See, there we go.
Okay, so note to self: do not live in igloo.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. All right, guys, let's go into the next segment we know as the draft. Nathaniel, we're going to roll this really stupid video clip that we're going to watch. We call it a useless clip. And then it doesn't really make any sense, but it says the words "the draft" on it. Gabriel made it. It's awesome. And then Andy's going to sing a song, and we're going to play the draft. The draft is just like a sports draft. We don't know what we're drafting. Gabe will throw it up on screen, and we'll go from there. All right, here we go.
Great.
Gabriel, roll the clip, please.
We play this thing called the draft.
New version.
We play it most every week. We're drafting. Yeah, we're drafting.
Speaking of drafting, did you see this like Red Bull speed skater who went like 101 miles an hour drafting behind an ice car? Did you see this?
No.
After the show, everybody look this thing up. Drafting in this like draft tunnel. He broke some world record, like speed skating at like 101 miles an hour or something crazy. No, not going to do it. Okay. Gabriel, what are we drafting today? Maybe. The draft. Baseball's back. Yes. Draft your 3 choices for walk-up songs. Nathaniel's not a baseball player. Okay.
I'll play along. I don't mind.
All right. So we've all been to baseball games. What we're talking about here is every time a hitter goes up to bat, they have a walk-up song. And we're going to draft 3 walk-up songs for us. So Nathaniel, we'll go around in a circle. You, then Andy, then Lindsay, then myself. How's that?
Do I have to go first? I don't know anything about baseball. It's unfair.
You just got to pick songs.
Oh, you don't have to know about baseball. Just pick a song that you want to like walk out to and be pumped.
Yeah, to walk out like this is what I'm gonna go hits. I'm gonna go crush some home runs. That's what you got to think. I'm gonna get a base hit song or something like that.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm naming just one now or all 3 now?
Nope, just one at a time.
All right. I'll go with right off the top of my head. Let's go with just for the groove and the riff. Led Zeppelin, Kashmir.
Kashmir.
Bit cheesy, but
that's a good
cool though.
That's a good song.
That's a good one.
Like I don't think you could go wrong with Led Zeppelin. No, not for a walk-up song. No. That's pretty awesome. All right, Lund, what's your song?
Enter Sandman.
Enter Sandman. Can I argue? Is it okay to argue?
You can argue, sure.
I mean, Master of Puppets was a better record. So is Justice for All.
I'm talking about a baseball walk-up song, not a Grammy-nominated conversation.
I'm just saying. I'm just getting Enter Sandman. All right, Enter Sandman. You got it. Lindsay.
All right.
What's your first walk-up song?
Oh, okay. So it's not gonna be super original because my husband used to watch like WWE and all that stuff. So like I'm a huge and now the AEW. So I'm a huge CM Punk fan. So I'm gonna take his song. In Living Color, Cult of Personality.
Oh, good one.
Yes,
100%.
That would get me
Ooh.
pumped.
If CM Punk was on the, it
He's
played
a Chicago
guitar.
guy, I think, if I remember correctly.
He is a Chicago. He's
Yeah.
he's really close friends to all my straight edge buddies. So if he
Okay.
was, we should have him. If he was a guitar player, we could have him on the show. Maybe we just try and have him on the show anyway.
Oh, I'd
Talk
freak
about
out.
his failed UFC career. Okay. My song, my
Excellent.
first song. Come on, everybody! You missed the opportunity to go 50 Cent in the club.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good one.
In the club, 50 Cent all
Yeah.
day long. All right, Nathaniel, what's your second song?
Number 2. Let's see.
Of course,
I'll go
Gene.
with Guns N' Roses. Welcome to the Jungle.
Oh yeah, James had a good one. Eye of the
That's
Tiger.
a very good one. That's a very good one.
Tiger.
This is awesome and ironic. Oh, where'd it go? Right here. All Star. Yes. Okay, Andy Lund. What is your next song that you would walk up to?
I'm gonna go Interstate Love Song, Stone Temple Pilots.
Ooh, a little STP.
Yeah.
Dang.
LCP.
Wow. Okay. Okay, I see where you're going. If this was a contest, you guys would win. Lindsay, what do you got for your second song?
My second song I'm gonna do All I Do Is Win, DJ Khaled.
Right? Which makes me totally want to go right to like Welcome to My House, Flo Rida, but I'm not going to. I'm not going. I love when dudes like hip hop songs, when they walk up to hip hop songs, it's really funny to me. Especially when it's like not a guy that you would think would walk up to a hip hop song. That I love it so much. I'm gonna go. Man, I really want to go back and argue this Enter Sandman thing and like pick a different Metallica song. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go the really killer riff portion of the Trooper by Iron Maiden. Yep. Okay. All right. That was for the Brit in the house. Okay, Brit kind of in the house. Nathaniel, what's your third and final draft choice?
My third and final one. You know what? The previous two were fairly serious. You know, like pumped up. I imagine that I'm good at baseball. I'm gonna kill it. The reality is, I'd be useless at baseball. I've never played it. So I'll do something a bit comical. I'll do the Benny Hill theme. You know, so that'll be me. Because
so
when
good.
I swing and miss, it'll be perfect for it.
That's so good. There's some good songs over here in the feed. That's great. Bulls on Parade. Oh yeah.
Come on. That'd be a good one. Yeah.
That would be so good. AC/DC. Okay. Lund, what is your last one?
I can't think. I want to figure out another heavy tune, like a heavy lick or something, but I can't come up with something. So I'm going to go the opposite direction and kind of riff off of Nathaniel's slightly less serious. I'm going to go with the John Fogerty "Put Me In, Coach" tune, whatever the name of that song is.
Oh, I love that one.
What's the name of it? Is it called "I'm Ready to Play"?
Yeah.
Put me in, Coach.
I'm ready to play.
Yes.
Center field. It's called probably center field.
So
That's a
good.
good song though. That brings back a lot.
Lindsay, where are we going? What's your next song?
And this last one's pretty hard. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would just go like, turn down for what?
Turn down for what?
Yeah, DJ Snake and Little John.
Which would then segue into shots.
Shot. Oh, yes. That's what I'm going up to.
Oh, so good. Center field. Someone writes center field. Man, this is hard. The last one. Sweet Caroline. Let's do Sweet Caroline for my mother. Neil Diamond. That's right. Sweet Caroline. All right.
Nice.
And thank you for sitting through that segment. That was fun. And now we're going to move on to the rest of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so happy if you're just joining us to have Dr. Feelgood. Oh man, come on. We all miss Dr. Feelgood. It's such a good riff, right? I could go on forever. Yeah. The primetime theme song. Andy, what would you do if you were at a baseball game and somebody started playing that song as their walk-up tune?
I would ask them how they knew that tune and why are they singing it right now?
Thunderstruck's a good one. See, my mom agreed. My mom simply said yes. Yes. All right, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, again, if you're joining late, we got Nathaniel Murphy on. Nathaniel, we are so stoked to have you here. Nathaniel is one of the... here's how I learned about you. Mike Osman, who is our rep for Chicago Music Exchange, called me into his office when he had come back from a trip, and he had some iPhone footage of you or something like that, or maybe it was an Instagram post that you posted, and he's like, dude, whatever you do, connect with Nathaniel and just let's help him get in front of as many eyes as possible. And it's really interesting because I'm going to ask some questions and kind of dig into your career just a little bit. But man, welcome to the show. Nathaniel Murphy, just an extraordinary guitar player, soccer coach, right? Soccer trainer. You're a football player.
I was for the past 11 years.
11 years.
That was my main job.
Overall ripper at life. But you've segued into he's the guy. First of all, how in the heck did you explode on Instagram? I mean, I could look it up, but you've got like as many followers as Taylor Guitars. I mean, it's insane.
It's crazy. I'm very honored, very thankful and shocked all at the same time. So essentially how it started out. So I used to busk or street perform on Michigan Avenue. For those who don't know, that's main street in Chicago. So I used to, I'd play music out there, for tips and whatnot. And I used to have a card with my name on it, my email, Nathaniel Murphy, phone number, guitarist email, maybe someone would contact me to play at a lunch or whatever. And I started getting emails of people saying, oh, I love your videos on Instagram. And I wasn't on Instagram at this point. So this is quite a while ago. But, I mean, very naive of me. I thought Instagram was mostly, like food kind of stuff and what. I didn't know it was like an outlet for music and stuff like that. So I started checking it and I thought, what, I'll post a video of me playing guitar, see what happened. And this was back when it was like 15-second clips. And I started to do it and people seemed to enjoy it. And so I just kept doing it and it just kept snowballing. And it's helped me out enormously. Social media, it can be bad, but it can also be very good. And it's certainly helped me out an awful lot.
It's so incredible. So I see you play through Mike on Mike Osman's phone. He's like, whatever you do, you gotta work with this dude some way, shape, or form. So it's really special to have you on the show, kind of full circle. Because we're actually going to I'm going to have Gabriel show a couple of clips of video that we have. One of them we worked with you on, and we've put it up. It might be on YouTube. I think it is on YouTube. It's got tens of thousands of views on it, and it's just beautiful. You were playing a brand new, I want to say right when we were introducing V Class. So it was the Builder's Edition 614 CE, which you have one of. And then we got another clip that's super special that none of us have seen, and it's you playing with Andy Powers, which is going to be interesting. So we'll have Gabe roll the first clip. We'll talk about it for a minute. Everybody, if you haven't seen Nathaniel play, get ready for something. This is special. Go for it, Gabe.
Dang.
Just saying. And your hair was much shorter.
Shorter.
I think the
Do you
hair was
become
better
a
back
do,
then.
do you become a better guitar player or a worse guitar player the longer your hair is? How does that work?
I don't know, to be honest. Depends on the day of the week. I mean, that was very strange looking back at that, because I remember being in there. I was very nervous. I was incredibly nervous. But it was
We
an awful
filmed
lot of fun.
that was in Nashville around Summer NAMM. He actually came down with Paul Tobias, which was awesome. And that was at Zach Brown's Southern Ground Studios. And it was like, we don't have the footage of this queued up, but there is footage of me, and Gabriel was there and he was filming it. Gabriel filmed the reaction of me seeing it for the first time and just being like mouth breathing and sweating a little because it was so incredible. We have one more clip and then we'll get into some Q&A real quick with you, and then we'll keep this show moving. But Gabriel has dug up some old footage that he found somewhere in a hard drive, and I haven't seen it. He's been working on something real quick, so let's take a look at it. I don't know how long it is, but I assume it's going to be pretty special. Gabe, if you want to roll the clip, that'd be amazing.
Sounds lovely.
So I want to clarify a couple of things. A, you were playing a prototype Grand Pacific 317. No one had ever seen those guitars yet. The Grand Pacifics weren't out yet. That's why we were there. We were there filming those guitars. And that was, like Gabe said in the comments over here, that was oops. We wanted to see it again. That was the first time Andy had ever heard the song. And I mean, it was like 30 seconds and he was just riffing with you, and that was amazing. I remember how nervous you were. You were totally nervous.
I mean, Andy Powers, and I'm there. I mean, looking back at me playing there, I wish I would kind of calmed down a bit and just kept one section going instead of a different section. But it was part of the song that I did. But it was a huge honor to be jamming with Andy, and I would love to do it again at some point. I'd be honored to do it again with him. I mean, he's. I'm not sure if everyone knows how good of a musician he actually is, right? Because I remember being there, and I'm sure he was playing some bebop and gypsy jazz with some like other people that were there. I mean, he was just an incredible musician. I'd love to play with him again. It was an honor.
Yeah, he's pretty incredible. It was really awesome to see. We have other footage from there, some behind the scenes that we've been trying to dig up for a long time, of like Andy playing piano with Trey Hensley. Do you remember that whole thing?
Yeah,
like,
I remember that. Yeah.
They went bonkers. Andy singing.
Yeah.
Like it was magical. If we can ever find the footage, I think everybody, it was 2018. That's right. Wow. Anyway. All right. Let's get into some Q&A. So, Nathaniel, I usually start the show or the Q&A section with one question. And that is, it's pretty simple. It's an easy one. Nathaniel, what in the heck do you do? So you work full-time at CME. Tell us what you do at Chicago Music Exchange and kind of how that came about.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good question. What do I do? Because for the longest while, I wasn't quite sure myself. I was kind of half soccer coach, half guitar demo guy. But so at Chicago Music Exchange, I do demo work, like a lot of the demo videos and whatnot. The majority of them, and I'm very lucky and very honored to do that. So I'm sure probably people might get sick of me at some point. But yeah, if you go on the CME Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, you will probably see my face a lot. Sorry. But yeah, but previously for the past 10 years, I was a soccer coach. That was my job. But now, demos full time.
Who did you coach?
So just like local teams around Chicago. So I used to coach out in the west suburbs for 5 years, and for the past 5 years, I was just coaching nearby on the lake, just like travel soccer, anything from like U8 to U17, all ages. But I loved it. You know, I had a lot of fun. Some great families, some great kids. I do miss it. Maybe I'll go back into it at some point, but I'm certainly enjoying the full-time guitar now. And again, it's a huge honor.
It's so awesome. Actually, when we sent the email out about the show tonight, we got an email reply to our service team, and it was a fella who may or may not watch the show. He's definitely on our mailing list, and he said, "Oh, this is so awesome. Nathaniel used to coach my daughter in soccer." So pretty stoked on that.
Oh.
Pretty rad.
Oh wow. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Huh? Yeah.
Small
it was just
world. Crazy, isn't it?
super small world, man. But it's so fun to watch your success. And we're going to get into some deeper questioning. But right now, I like to start this session with a segment called Useless Questions. Nathaniel, what is your favorite color?
My favorite color is gray. Very strange, but gray kind of goes with a lot.
Okay, I got it. What is your favorite sport? What is your favorite sport?
Football, you know that.
Yeah, okay.
The
What's your
beautiful
team?
game, you know it.
It is a beautiful game. I wake up early on Saturdays to watch Premier League. What?
Oh, you do, yeah?
I love it. Come on.
Good.
I like all
Proud.
sports. I do not discriminate. Here's the deal. I'm so happy about baseball being back. I'm wearing a Orioles hat. Just saying. Everybody knows the deal. I wear a different hat every single week-ish if we have a show. All right. What is a song that you wish you would have written?
Oh. Where do you start? There's so many. I mean, I'm going to say something now, and then I'm going to think of something in an hour's time when this is all done. But off the top of my head, let's go with, just for the sheer craziness of it and how amazing it was, or is, Bohemian Rhapsody. Why not?
Right. I think we all wish that. I think you're in good company here.
Just the pure kind of bravery of it. We're going to do this, and they're going to release it.
Okay, what is your favorite band of all time?
My favorite band of all time, it would be Led Zeppelin, closely followed by Oasis, because Oasis got me started on the guitar, because I grew up around the same area of Manchester. It was about a mile away from it.
And this is Wonderwall. Okay, that is fantastic. I am a huge Oasis fan as well. I was very close to them, the Twins, at one point in proximity at an award show once, and I was pretty happy at that moment.
Oh, wow.
I remember it very, very clearly. Where is the coolest place you've ever played on stage, and is there a story about that?
Coolest place played on stage. There's a few candidates. I'll give you two, if that's all right.
Okay.
There's three. But bear with me,
Good.
I'll be
Go
quick.
for it.
Right, the first one, I was at Chicago Music Exchange. I was in the acoustic room, and Dweezil Zappa walks in. Dweezil Zappa, I'll kind of stay back, pretend I'm not looking. And he looks around at me and he goes, "I know you." He goes, "Yeah, I've seen your videos all the time." And I'm like, "Oh God." And he goes, one of the guys who used to work there, Drew Kavanagh, he went over and spoke to Dweezil. And literally a minute later, Dweezil comes over to me. He goes, "We're playing at the Vic tonight. I want you to play with us. Jump on stage." What? I mean, now obviously Dweezil Zappa is outrageously good, and he was also the kindest, amazingly kind and generous. So I ended up playing at the Vic Theatre with him that night, which is, a pretty big venue, Chicago.
It's a big venue.
Incredible, yeah. Another one, so that's definitely up there. Another one was I played with Cheap Trick, so I've gotten to know Rick Nielsen. Madness, I'm telling you, it's you. People probably wouldn't believe it, but I got to know Rick Nielsen, and he brought me down to Joliet to a show, and I got up and I played Surrender with Cheap Trick. It was
What?
crazy. Like, he introduced me to the crowd. People are probably thinking, "What? Who's this guy?" But it was amazing. And again, Rick Nielsen is an incredibly nice person. And then just recently, again, this is all through whole Instagram thing. Jerry Beckley of America. We've gotten to know each other quite well, and he, we text all the time, and he's a very nice guy. And he was doing a show up in Northern Illinois, and he said, "Oh, come out to the show." Yeah, brilliant, would love to. And so he showed me around backstage, showed me his guitars, and he turns to the guitar tech and he goes, "We'll get him on for a Horse with No Name for the encore." I'm like, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, do you want to come on for the encore and play Horse with No Name?" Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah. So that was crazy to think that I've played. So there's three. So there's
Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know. I did know that you were friends with the guys from America. Here's why. I get a text message from Tim Godwin that says, "My friend in America says Nathaniel has a broken guitar and we should." And so, of course, we're going to get it fixed for you. But I had already known.
Yeah.
And you and I had already chatted about it, which was hilarious. And we're trying to get him on the show on Primetime at some point. I'm working with Tim Godwin to get him on maybe for the 75th episode. Can you believe we've done 67 of these things, Andy?
Nope.
One day we did 67 things. All right. Wow, that's amazing, Nathaniel. You did get a question over here in the feed. From time to time, I'm going to bring questions up from the feed. This is very important. Man City or Man United?
Man United.
Okay. Do you have
I mean, funnily enough, I grew up near where the old Man City ground used to be. So obviously when people see Man City now, they're at this, the Etihad Stadium. But I used to play at a place called Main Road, which was about a mile away from where I grew up. And for some reason, I ended up supporting Man United, probably family and friends. Yeah, Man United.
Wow.
I chose the right one.
You chose the right one. I got it.
Yeah.
Favorite guitar that you've ever owned? It can be any guitar, electric, acoustic, whatever, bass, doesn't matter. What's the favorite guitar you've ever owned?
There's so many. Off the top of my head, I'll try and narrow it down to a few. I'll be quick. One of them I got recently from Chicago Music Exchange as a gift. I got an old Gallagher J150. One of the special ones. I got that as a gift, which blew me away, and I will never part with it. That's a very special guitar. Very, very cool. There's a double neck acoustic that I've got. It's Alvarez, and that's very cool. But you know what? I'm gonna go with the very first guitar I ever got. I know that might sound cheesy or corny, but my granny bought. So I was in Manchester at the time, and obviously my granny lives in Ireland. I told her one day, this is how I started guitar as well. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna, buy a guitar. I want to learn the guitar. This is the 13." She goes, "Oh, great." And then a week later, I get a letter in the post with £50 in it, and a little letter saying, go buy your guitar and enjoy it. And I've always remembered that. I mean, that guitar, it made me, fall in love with the guitar and be hooked on it. So that will always be number one, the very first for me.
That's an incredible story. I love it. I love that story. You got some. So from time to time throughout this episode, because I know we got a lot of guitar nerds out here wanting to know some more about you, I'm gonna throw Q&A up during the show. Makes it a little bit more fun. But we got some questions here. Ken Rogers, the king of questions. We got some folks here who ask great questions. This is a great question. What brought you to the United States 10 years ago?
Oh, good question. Yeah.
Chicago music exchange?
It wasn't that originally. No, not quite. So I used to coach football back in England, and at the time I was a guitar teacher as well. So I was teaching probably about 40 different people every week, for a few years, and I don't want to say I didn't get bored of it, but it got, I'd go home from like teaching for 8 hours, and it's like I didn't want to play for myself. I didn't wanted to go home. I didn't even want to look at it, so that kind of played on me. But a mate of mine moved over to Chicago, and he was coaching football. And he said, "Oh, I can get you a job over here coaching if you fancy it." Yeah, lose, why not? I'll do that. And the intention was always to do something with the guitar as well, or full time eventually. And only took 10 years, but I got there eventually. So
that's incredible. What was your first introduction to music? How did you get started and with this whole journey?
Well, one of my earliest kind of memories, my mom. So there was always music on in my house growing up. There was a record player in every room and whatnot. But one of my earliest memories would have been my mom had a double tape cassette of Chuck Berry. It was like a red and yellow one, and it was. I always remember that, and I always remember the music being on. I liked it. I was young at the time. But there was always music on in the house, and for years I wanted to be a drummer. I would literally bang on the table, pots and pans in the kitchen, and but we could never afford it. We were never going to be able to afford a full drum kit. There was no room for it, and then I eventually thought, I'll just try the guitar. Never going to get a drum kit. What harm could it be? See how it goes, and it was the best decision I ever made. Fell in love with it, and that's how it started. I wanted to be a drummer, but couldn't afford it.
So is that where your percussive style comes from?
I wouldn't say so. No, I mean, so the kind of percussive style, my kind of percussive stuff is basic, because I mean, you see a lot of other guys that take it to kind of new levels. I personally like to keep it pretty basic. It might be just drum and snare beats like that. But I suppose I've seen that. Michael Hedges is one of the first ones that I've seen doing that, and he was a huge inspiration for me. Obviously, I've seen Andy McKee. I've lots of inspiring. I've been inspired by lots of different players, of different genres. But yeah, Michael Hedges, and then I've seen Preston Reed, who was a huge influence. Because what I loved about him and what I thought was so different about Preston was his was more kind of bluesy and groovy than a lot of the other kind of percussive style players. It'd be a basic beat, but it'd be like a bluesy kind of funky riff, which I absolutely loved. So he was definitely a huge influence in regard to the percussive, as opposed to other people who do more of it.
That's incredible. We actually got that question over here. Who influenced you? This is a really good question. Could you please describe his live performance rig? What do you use when you play a guitar? Like when you jumped on stage with Dweezil Zappa, what did you have?
Well, I brought the 6, but yeah, Sorry. So yeah, I was getting mixed up with the name. The 614C. So this is the one that I've used. This is the one I've had for a few years. Means the world to me. I love this car. So I had this with me, and I brought a Fishman amp. I can't remember the name. The Loudbox Mini, I think it was. Yeah, it died unfortunately on me recently. So I brought those two because I liked like the bass, reverb, and a little bit of chorus in the amp. And that's basically what I use now. I don't perform as live as much as I'd like to, but in terms of doing videos at home, I'm very basic. I've got a Roland Street Cube amp that I bought in Manchester years ago, and I still use it to this day. I used to use it for busking, cheap old amp, and it's done me well. That's basically it. That and maybe another acoustic amp. And I'm very simple, very boring. Right.
I don't think it's boring. I think it's actually pretty special, right? Because you got a lot of us out there who just go and invest all this money in all this gear, but at the end of the day, it's like, I've got James over here, and he's reminding me of hockey, right? He performs the national anthem for the St. Louis Blues, and and it's like it's like the hockey player who shows up with like all the really expensive equipment. Well, when I started playing, my mom's kind of like, let's get some, you got to see if you're going to like it first. You've kept it very minimal, and you have this ability to just blow the guitar away when you play it. It's like, it's just it's an appendage. It's wild. I mean, you are, look, amazing. Massive talent. That's sure. All right, let's get back to my questions over here. When did you hone in your craft? Like, when did you just take off? Right? When did that one day where you're like, I got this, I've mastered this thing we call a fingerboard. I'm using different weird tunings, etc. When did that part of your journey kind of just focus?
In all honesty, it never has happened, and I don't think it ever will. Now that's a very, I don't know how to describe that answer, but honestly, I'll never be happy with what I'm doing on the guitar. I don't mean happy, but I want more. I'll listen to like Joe Pass or whoever and think, oh, I have to do that, or it could be Dweezil Zappa or something like that. I'm always wanting to kind of. Again, I know it sounds cheesy, but I'm always wanting to get better. I'll never ever say that I've mastered the guitar. Me personally, I'll say, but I don't know. I've always kind of just enjoyed and fell in love with the instrument. And I remember, like, when I first had it, there was a couple of my mates at school, like, they'd be playing it. And I remember, I didn't know at the time, one of my mates was playing the riff for Come As You Are. And I didn't know Nirvana at the time. But I remember watching him play it. And I remember he was doing it, obviously, in the right position. I'd only been playing like maybe a couple of months at best, so he's playing it and thinking, oh, that's cool. And I hummed it over and over and over so I wouldn't forget it. And then I went home, and then I went home and I learned it on one string because I didn't know any better. So now how bad does that sound? But I remember at the time thinking, oh yeah, that's easy as that. Very naive of me, but I just fell in love with learning things by ear, and that's one of the best things I'd kind of give one of the best pieces of advice I'd give to anyone starting out or whatnot is to use your ears as much as you can. It helped me, man. Anyway.
All right, I got a spectacular question here from our boy Steve. As a teacher / coach, which parents are worse? The guitar students' parents or the little footballers' parents?
Oh, wow. I don't know if maybe some of the parents are watching this. I got to be careful here, Stephen.
It's okay. You can be honest.
No, it's funny. 99.999% of the football parents, they'll let you get on with your job. They'll let you do it. But then you'll get, just that 0.001% where they tell you how to do your job. That it's you've got all your coaching badges, you've done 10 years experience, but they watched the game on the telly last week and they know more than you. And it's like, hang on, mate. These are 6-year-old girls learning to play a game. Take it easy. They're not heading the ball in from a corner kick just yet. Just take it easy. But yeah, it's funny.
That's good. Here's another question Rob has. Nathaniel, do you read music as well? Or do you just play by ear?
I don't read music. Now, I would absolutely urge anyone to read music. I tried probably, I was 2 or 3 years into loving playing guitar, and I'd hear people saying, you have to read music, you have to. And I would certainly agree that it's another string to your bow. Because I always like the idea of being like a session player. And in order to do that, I thought, you absolutely have to read music, and you do. But I don't think it's as prevalent as what it used to be. Certainly chord charts and whatnot. I can do all that. That's great. But you could write out "Happy Birthday" without giving me the title clue to say it's "Happy Birthday." You could write it out in written music. It'd take me forever to figure it out. But I would absolutely urge anyone to read. But no, I personally don't.
Steve has another question. I have to get in here. So good. If Cantona were a guitarist, what band would he be in, and what guitar would he play, and why?
I like the way you said that name. Say that name again, Joe.
Cantona.
The player's name.
It's pronounced.
I shouldn't be laughing. Cantona.
No. Yeah.
Cantona.
I wanted to pronounce it.
So he was a very Cantona.
Cantona. I know, but I wanted to really upset Steve.
Eric Cantona. So now if you don't know, he was a very influential player for Man United. A catalyst, you might say, because when he came, we started quite a dominant team. If he was what band would he be in?
Yeah, what band would he be in?
Is that what he was asking?
Yeah. You want the question again?
Oh.
Cantona was a guitarist.
Yeah, if Cantona were a guitarist. Oh. Let's see.
Cartuna.
No. Canatuna. I'll go for a very, very obvious one in terms of influence. I'll say Hendrix. And what guitar would he play?
A Strat.
Hendrix, there's only one I can do. But yeah, we'd say he was like Hendrix in terms of. He wasn't the greatest soccer player ever. I'm not going to say anything about Hendrix. But yeah, he was highly influential. Put it that way.
Oh, that's so good. This was the best part.
Cantona.
Cantona. That's so good. Oh man, that made me happy. Sorry about that. Sports, it makes us funny. What is your favorite open tuning?
Oh wow, favorite open tuning. There's plenty. I like to do ones where there isn't necessarily a major or a minor third. Now I'm not talking necessarily about dadgad. I've done ones before where it'll be mostly fifth, which you're going to break strings, but I've done that before. But a nice one that I've done before is, I could demonstrate it quickly, if that's okay. Is that all right?
Please.
I'll be quick. Now, can you hear that, by the way? Is that okay?
Yep.
We'll see. So now, obviously, a very common one is open G. I'm probably going to snap a string here on camera. And I haven't done this in a while, this open tuning, but I do love it. Hopefully it won't snap. Now, what I'm also going to do, instead of going to D, I'm going to bring it down to a C. So I mean, if you're doing kind of some finger picking stuff, it's quite nice to throw that in. But I also like, so you have your G major with a C in the bass, turn it into a minor though. I've always liked this tune. It always sounded to be quite nice. So I mean, you get some nice. Forgive me for this. So you can get some quite nice voicings. They're kind of like ninth voicings. I mean, and then obviously you can do all the kind of crazy stuff if you want to, or whatever, you know. So that's a particular one that I like. So open G minor, but with a C in the bass. So that would be C, G, D, G, B flat, and D on the top. So hopefully that helps, but a bit rusty on that. I need to revisit that. But that's one of my favorites.
You know what we should do? We should do some content with you about some alternate tunings. That would be awesome. That would be really fun.
I'd love to.
We could kind of work with you and CME and get that done. That would be really cool. Another question here. What is your writing process like?
My writing
process. What is your writing process?
I mean, for me, mostly is I like to do something that I can hum, like a melody, or you know. So it might be a case of hum along, or it might be you listening to something and you take a melody and change it somehow, or it could be like a tuning. It's like if you go into an open tuning or make your own open tuning, you might take something like that, like the kind of G minor, or well, a G major. Think, well, you know, I do this a lot. Let's turn it into a minor. Let's put a C in the bass, or you know, bring it down to whatever. So I think there's a lot that can come from that. Experiment with different. That it kind of leans towards that, but generally, I like to have something that I can hum or someone else can. That'd be the main thing to me. Hum. I mean, there's things I've done before where it isn't necessarily about the melody. Like I did something called the Rooftop Funk, where it was more about a groove, like a riff, and then there's a melody later on. So there's exceptions, but for the most part, I like something like that.
Incredible. So you've got tailors. Let's talk tailors just a little bit. We'll get some more questions from the feed. Then we're going to play a quick game. Then we're going to play a quick game with you. You've got, I believe, a 717, right?
Yep.
You've got a Builder's Edition 614 that we've seen. I believe you have a GT Urban Ash. And do you have, what is the Taylor, the other one that you have that it was a limited? What was it? The one that cracked.
Oh, so yeah, so the one that cracked. This is the very first Taylor I ever bought. Now, hopefully, and again, these cracks are down to me. I'm sure you can kind of see these in the light. This was me forgetting to humidify my guitar in the Chicago time. I mean, there's a good view of it right there, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, but we're gonna get it fixed up. Now, this is a great guitar. I actually bought this. I bought this at second hand at Chicago Music Exchange years ago. This is the first Taylor I ever had. I absolutely love it. Never part of it. It took me a while to pay it off because I was paying in installments, second hand, but I was between jobs at the time. And I remember when I first started trying to pay for it, so one of the guys there, Carl, he said, yeah, you can pay for it in installments, just, you know, as long as it's not like over 3 months or something like that. But, yeah, okay, great. 6 months later, I'm still paying them off. Yeah, I've always loved this. One of my favorites that I've ever had.
What is it?
Yeah,
is it a
gonna get it fixed up.
That's a 714.
Yeah, this is
714.
714.
Yeah.
714
That's like
CE.
that cedar top and that rosewood combo is just yeah.
Isn't that your favorite
Just love
guitar?
It is. It is.
Lindsay?
It is my favorite. It is my favorite combo.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Now I remember someone was telling me that cedar top is a little bit more not fragile, but it needs a bit probably more tender love and care than other tops. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I could have that wrong.
No, that's
the
right.
case,
It's a
or-
soft. Yeah, it's a softer wood. It cracks
Yeah.
much easier than even spruce.
Right.
That's partially why we stopped putting it on dreadnoughts, because it just, just to help with the strength of it. So, but yeah, it's a softer wood.
Right. No, I mean,
So-
I absolutely love the sound of this. It's,
I bet.
great.
So we're gonna get that one back, and we're gonna help get that fixed up for you. So
Facelift, right?
I'm gonna go play it when it's just because I don't get those often. I don't see
Right.
those come across often.
Do it, please.
Once it's set up, I'm gonna go in there and play it and send a video to you.
uh,
Yeah, definitely.
all right. We got a little game that we're going to play real quick, and then we're going to answer some more questions over here in the feed and go for it. So, Nathaniel, I thought it'd be a good treat to see if we can do something for you. Ready? Let's see
Okay.
if I'm going to give you a band name or a song and see if you can play it.
Okay. All right.
That's fair, right?
Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. Let me get back into standard tune. Also, I've got a tuner here. I was looking for one. No, I haven't.
A tuner.
A tuner.
Let's
Yeah.
try this.
I,
That's how good. What's that?
You know, at the shop, people still get confused with the way I say tuna, because in England, tuna and tuna. So
Right,
tuna as in the
tuna.
fish, and guitar tuna kind of say it the same. Tuna.
Cantuna. He's a soccer player.
A can of tuna or a guitar tuna. Same thing. It means the same thing. Right then. Hopefully I won't snap a string then. Also, I'm useless at changing strings. I cannot do them. It'd take me a solid 15 minutes to change a guitar string. I should be ashamed to say that, but I'm not.
At least you change them. Some people don't. While you're there,
Go on.
while you're there, we got a couple more questions. How's that?
Go for it.
Who are your two favorite soloists who aren't guitar players?
Let me see. Two people who aren't guitar players.
Steve.
Sorry, I can't.
Steve's the best. By the way, we work with Steve. We're all
Let me see.
fans.
I'm intrigued. I do like listening to Bach, but he wasn't a guitar player, right?
Yeah.
So I do enjoy him. Obviously, the amazing things that are going on. Some other ones. Let me see. Just off the top of my head, there's a few I could think of, but I was listening to Jean-Luc Ponty the other day. He's that kind of fiddle fusion kind of player from like the 70s. Crazy good, crazy, just out of this world. So there's just two. There's plenty more, but there's just two. So Jean-Luc Ponty. Hopefully I'm saying his name correctly, and of course Bach. But there's lots.
All right. Thank you for that. I needed to have that question. Okay, here we go. This one's easy. We know you can do it because you're a fan. I already know you can do it. So give us a Zeppelin song.
Okay, is that all right? Let's make it interesting. I'll try it. Hang on. I'm going to try and make it more complicated than what it has to be. How about that?
I like it. All right.
Let's see. Now, can you hear that, by the way? Does that sound okay? Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably not ideal. Right. I'm going to try and put in the bass. Let's see. Yeah. And so on. I mean, it's a bit scruffy. I need to brush up on it, but
It's so good,
there's a
man.
little bit.
He's so good. All right.
Mhm.
What would Lindsay do? Stevie Wonder.
Okay. I can't remember the rest, but we're a little outro. That's all. A little bit rough. I'm messing it up.
A little bit rough. Okay. All right. Let's see. I got one here. What would Lund do? I got it. Queen. You said Queen earlier. Let's go Queen. Queen. Can you play anything by Queen?
We'll give it a go. We'll do drop D. A little bit out of tune, but that's okay. You can recognize it. I'm going to try and incorporate a few different parts of the song. Try. So I'm messing up the solo, but you get it. You get the idea. Right, what is it? I can't remember the solo now. I was playing it earlier today as well. But anyway, you get the idea.
All right. Let's give a theme song. How are you with movie theme songs? Star Wars. Can you play something for Star Wars?
Star Wars. I need a capo. Hang on.
Back to the Future. Star Wars. Okay, Star Wars.
All right, we'll try that. Let's see.
Put him on the spot. Can you do something?
Well, you've got two themes, but I won't do that. Let's see.
Wow.
There you go. Is that a little bit?
That wasn't even what I was expecting, right? That was incredible. Okay, that was good. Let's do two more because this is kind of fun.
Okay.
Let's see. I know you can do something. I know you can do this because I've seen you do it. Maybe let's your version of "Come As You Are" now. Do you have that? Do you know Nirvana? Any Nirvana now?
That version, I can't even remember what tune I did it in.
Really? Okay.
I've got it written down, so I'd need to.
Do you have you done a "Smells Like Teen Spirit" version or rendition?
Okay, I haven't come up with my own. There was the late great Eric Roach did a version. I think I've played his version, and that was in Dadka. I'll probably butcher this, but forgive me. But again, this is the late great Eric Roach who did this. Dadka. Hopefully it won't snap. Sorry, I remember getting caught there with the string once when I was a kid, so I've been afraid of this. I was tuning the guitar like this, and it literally hit me there. So I wasn't afraid. Let's see if you can remember. Something like that. Again, it's been years since I played it, but Eric Roach does an amazing
So
job.
good.
That's so good. One more. Let's do one more, and then we'll take some Q&A
Okay.
and wrap the show up. I got it.
Go on. Oh, here we go. What's going on here?
Can you play something by the Smiths? Can you do it?
I'll certainly give it a go. I'm working on a new, like an arrangement of a Smith song. Hang on. It's not this one, but I can't remember most of this. Let's see. Yeah, hang on. That's all. I can't remember. So that's there's a light that never goes out, right? A little bit.
That was awesome.
I
Hey,
need
you
to,
got a couple.
to work
You
on
got a couple over here in the feed. Can you play anything by the Jackson 5?
Jackson 5. Hang on. I'll do it on this. You know what? Hang on.
I think we need a
This
tip box.
saves
We
time.
needed like a tip box.
But yeah, I've seen.
Definitely need to.
I know we need a tip box right now.
So I've seen a couple of great players do this. I'm a big fan of Ben Lacey. I think he was one of the first people that I've seen do this. Let's see. What was it? Again, I haven't played it in a while. A little bit rough, but a little bit of Jackson 5.
All right, one more. You're come on. Let's do
Go
this.
on then.
Let's do this.
I'll do this all day. I do enjoy this. I like
The
this.
Beatles. The Beatles. Just play something by the Beatles. We all want to hear it.
The Beatles. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
There you go. Sorry, a little pedal steel lick at the bottom. Hang on. Messing around.
That's so good. Thank you so much for entertaining us.
I'll keep going.
I know. We can do this. All right. We got any more? Anybody have anybody? Did I miss any?
Again, I'm
Over
probably
the hill.
butchering these, so if people are going crazy at me in the comments, I'm having fun. I'm not trying to butcher them.
They're not actually.
Relief.
Did I miss any? Over the hills and far away. You know that?
And so on. But what I was trying to do, I remember when it goes on to the verses. Hang on. So yeah, I mean, a good thing you could try is try and do that. Now, normally you play it here. I'm just going to slide instead of in. But you could try and put in. So you know, if you don't have a bass player handy, you know, you try and figure it out. So again,
It's so good. It's
I have too much time on my hands, clearly.
If you don't have a bass player handy, all right, two more. We got one. Someone said ABBA.
Yes.
Can you play it?
Keep it going. I'll do this all night. ABBA. Oh, you put me on the spot. They've got me. I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think that bass line. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to work on some ABBA. So whoever suggested it, I'll work on it. I'll get back to you.
That's so good. Crowded House. You play any Crowded House?
Let's see. Again, you got to try and put in the bass. Oh, I can't remember. Or what's that one? Everywhere she goes, like that. But yeah, I'll work on better arrangements. Go on, keep it going. We'll do what? 2 more?
We got 2 more. There's 2 more. It's so good. Spanish Fly by Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, come on, man. Come on. I'm butchering it. Something like that. There you go. That's all you'll get.
All right. Last.
I can't remember. I'll revisit that.
Last two. Anything from Fleetwood Mac and anything from Elton John. Fleetwood Mac or Elton
Mac.
John.
I need to do that part. Or you could do the. I want I need to do it up here or here. Wait, can I do that? I don't know. Can I? Help if I tuned it in as well, of course. I can't do this. This is. I could try it. I'll come back to that. And what was the other one?
Elton John.
Elton John.
Let's see. I used to do some of them. Hang on. Let's see. Hang on. I'm running out of frets. messed it up, but yeah, I'm rusty. Hopefully, someone recognize it.
Eric Chang writes, "I wish I could even come close to butchering it."
Thank you, Eric.
Paul Tobias writes, "Yeah, right, Nathaniel. That's some butchering." Yeah, I think we all kind of feel
I'll
the
have
same
to come
way.
by and visit you, by the way.
I have a question. So
I must say,
Nathaniel, when you're figuring out your
I was gonna say-
arrangements, are you going back to the original records, or do you have sort of some sort of pitch recall where you can try to put things in the original key that they're written in on the original records, or do you dive deep to the original recordings? You just try to come up with stuff, or do you just fill in the blanks, fill in the harmony?
I always go back to the original because they're the versions that probably most people fell in love with. Like I'd always go back to the original and listen to the harmony. Which chords are going where. So, for example, I'll tend to if it's like a piano-based song, like your song, or there's one Africa by Toto. I'll instead of so as an example, again I'll try to remember this. So Toto Africa. I believe that's the actual chord that's played on the piano. Now, the easy way we could do it as guitarists would just be now. So sounds okay, but it's not quite right. Whereas and then it's a tricky one. So that chord is quite a nice one. So again, like a C minor 7 kind of idea. So instead of, which is nothing wrong with, let's be straight here. There's nothing wrong with that. But I wanted to try and get the actual piano voicing and some of the voicings on that. On the Elton John is it's like just an inversion of a B, but including the E flat and the bass, little things like that, which I like, hopefully that kind of does it.
Yeah, I think it's magical. I think that's what you've got is you've taken this thing, and you make. I know you're not satisfied. I've seen that with you, right? I saw it with you with in Nashville for the first time when we were filming you. You were talking about I can make it better, I can do it better, I can do a better version of it, or I can do this, or working through these. And these were your own songs, so it's really interesting to watch you arrange things. It's spectacular. It's time now for another segment of the show. And we got a little song here. This next segment is called Lindsay's Question. She is going to ask you a question and probably stump you because it's awesome and it's hilarious when she stumps the guest. So let's see if she can do this. Lund, do you have a song?
Let me try and butcher something here, okay?
Okay.
Love has a question for Murphy. Nathaniel, are you ready for love? Sometimes her questions are easy. Sometimes you need to think them through.
Love it.
All right. I'm gonna keep it easier tonight. Let's see. What is a hidden talent besides making amazing guitar arrangements of songs and
yes, I love this
and one. You being a soccer player? What's a hidden talent that you have?
Oh wow. I'm not blessed, really. I've got a double jointed thumb. I can do that. Is that any good to you? that's all I could do.
I can do
so
that
the secret. You see that? There you go. There's my thumb. How weird is that?
There it is.
That's talent,
there
right?
it is. That's a talent. That's a talent, folks.
That was the first time that's ever happened.
There we go.
That was the first time that's ever happened.
Watch it go. Watch it go. So the secret's in that thumb, by the way.
Oh,
Okay,
wow. The
got it.
secret is in that thumb.
The
That's how
secret
it
to
all
its
works,
playing
ladies
is
and
in that
gentlemen.
thumb.
That was
Thumb
insane.
controls.
Now I know I've got a secret collection of Baltimore Orioles hats. That's my secret talent. Oh, wow. That was good. And now 2 minutes of sports. This is where we turn the talk show into 2 minutes of a sports show. I hope you're ready for this one, Nathaniel. But I believe before we get started, Mr. Lund has a song.
Two minutes of sports. March is the month for basketball. Amazing games, nothing lackluster. Guns a blazing, bracket buster. The thrill of victory, all the sadness. The Sweet 16 in March Madness of 2 minutes of sports.
Yes. 2 minutes of sports. First off, come on, everybody. Who's excited? Baseball is back. They got through all their nonsense, and now we're going to have a baseball season. I'm pretty excited about that. So, everybody, I'm happy. I know a lot of people think baseball is like watching paint dry, but it doesn't matter. I like watching paint dry. I also like watching golf. You are a footballer. It seems like a lot of people from Ireland / move to Manchester become footballers. What got you started with soccer? I mean, when did you was it just you're going to do this, kid? Were your parents like, or did you fall in love?
It's the main thing that now this is like a European thing.
Yeah.
Everyone plays football out in the street. You get home from school, go out on the street, play football with your mates. You play football during lunch break with your mates. The weekends, summer holidays, you play football out in the street until the lampposts, the street lights come on. It wasn't forced on me or anything. I just used to play out in the street with my mates all the time. Play five-a-side. And all you need is a ball. You don't need like a lot of crazy equipment. So it's very easy, very attainable. But again, it's a European kind of thing. Now, obviously, there's a few of my mates to play cricket or rugby, but not many of them would. It's just football was the thing. Like I said, you go out to the street, away you go.
And you just decided to come over to the United States and coach it, or was it something when you got here you were like, I could do this, I could make a little bit of money too, trying to be a guitar player?
No, it was a combination of both. I mean, I think I've progressed as a player in the last 10 years. I mean, I think so. Hopefully, anyway. No, yeah, I know. I'm a better musician now. I mean, at the time, I was thinking, I'd love to do something with the guitar on the side, or and thankfully, it has progressed. But again, my main source of income for the past 9.5, 10 years was coaching football. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. There'd be rainy days where it was, Sorry, yeah, go on, Lindsay.
I was saying, did you what level of football? Like, what level did you play at? Did you play
how-
high school, collegiate? How high did you go with this football career?
You see, it's an interesting thing. Like, you'll get that asked that a lot in America. Like, oh, what level did you play? Because no one in England, we don't really have this college level thing back home. So we don't really have that. It's just, I mean, it's the majority sport that most people play. So over there, so I mean, you'd play basically every day, and then you'd play, a few nights a week with your mates. You play five-a-side or whatever. So I never played at a top level or anything, but I just used to play all the time. There's plenty like me. I mean, I never tried hard enough, or probably never good enough, obviously. But yeah, I got into coaching, and I enjoyed the coaching a lot. Like, it was great when you'd see like the little kids' faces when there'd be a light bulb that'd go off. Like you'd say something, or you'd show them like how to do a Maradona turn or step overs or whatever, and you see them use it in a game against the player. That's like, yes, you're delighted for them that you see that light bulb switch, and they enjoy it and they want to keep doing it, and it's that love for the game. trying to instill that.
All right, 2 questions about football real quick. Who's going further this year? Steve has a question. Who's going further? England's men's World Cup team or the women in the Euros? Men's team in the World Cup.
England's women?
Yeah, women's in the Euros. Who's going here? I'll post the question. Where'd it go? Who went away? Right here. Who's going further this year? England's men in the World Cup or women in the Euros?
Trying to think.
I think
England won't win the World. England won't win the World Cup. The men's, they won't win it. I mean, I support Ireland now, but obviously I'll keep an eye out for England for the Man United players that play for them. I want to see the Man United players do well. But the England men's team, they won't win the World Cup. But I'd say the England women's team will go further in the Euros than the men's team will in the World Cup.
Okay, we got that. And then as a footballer, a true footballer, how do you feel about the show Ted Lasso?
I love it. I love it.
Right?
Honestly, there's one bit. Hopefully I'm not going to spoil it for everyone, but there was one bit. I think I was in tears of laughter. Where hopefully I don't want to be spoiling it for anyone, but I'm going to. I'll be honest. There's one line. There's a team in England called Sheffield Wednesday, and Ted Lasso is looking at his calendar, and it says Sheffield Wednesday on Wednesday, and it says Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday or Sunday. So it's like, oh, we're playing Sheffield on Wednesday. And it's like, no, and the other guy goes, no, we're playing them like on Saturday or something. We're playing them twice in a week or whatever. It's the way I'm doing a bad job of it, but the way they do it is brilliant. So there is some really good bits.
All right, and then you got a question
like
from the feed here. Do you have a favorite NFL team? It's got to be the Chicago Bears, right?
It's got to be the Bears. No, I'm not an NFL expert by any case, but I know the Bears aren't very good. I do know that, right? I don't have to be a genius for that, right? But the Bears would be my team. You know what? I had a bet. So my former roommate, this would be about 8 or 9 years ago. I said the Bears are not going to get to the Super Bowl, let alone win it within the next 10 years. I'll bet you $1,000. And I'm looking pretty good. We're about 8 or 9 years into it. He said, no, we'll get to it. So,
I don't know about that.
Bears lost my game.
Awesome. Thank you so much for 2 minutes of sports. We got one last thing. We got trivia. This is called Evan's question. We've taken some questions. We got a guy. He's a regular. His name's Evan, and he's read everything that we've ever written ever. And he has just so knowledgeable about Taylor trivia. So we had him start writing some questions for us. So we're going to give away a trivia prize. Everybody knows how this works. If you answer it first, throw it in the feed. Gabriel will put you on screen, and we will get you a prize sent out your way. If you win, send us an email to primetime@taylorguitars.com. All right. The rules are Paul Tobias, Evan Smith, and Gabriel O'Brien cannot answer the questions. Everybody else can. Probably not 1974. You are right, Craig. It is not 1974. This is a fantastic question. All right. Who's ready? Here, Gabriel, throw the question up there. Andy will play a song, and maybe we'll get an answer. Back in 2000, we released a number of artist signature models, including one with Jewel, the Jewel Kilter signature model. What wood species was used for back and sides on that? What wood species was used for the back and sides wood? Do you remember?
Who can answer Evan's cue? You, maybe it is you. Paul and Gabe can answer, even if they knew. Who will answer Evan's cue?
It's there, Gabe. Yes, James. Oh man, we should have James on as a guest. That'd be awesome. We could talk hockey the whole night. James, congratulations. That's right. It's satinwood was the back and sides. Andy, do you remember those guitars?
I do remember those guitars. I was selling those guitars at my guitar store in Champaign, Illinois, and I sold a couple of those Jewel models. They were cool.
They were cool.
I think they were $1,200. That's what I remember. They were like, it was a
Really?
deal. Yeah. Like
Whoa.
$12.95 or something like that.
That's a lot at the time. Anyway, awesome. Thank you so much, Nathaniel, for joining us. It's been a fun, long, nerdy show. I think we got a lot of happy people over here to see you play many different songs. I think we should add that to upcoming shows, have some guests on who can just rip some guitar like that. It's been fantastic, man. We really appreciate you. We really appreciate your art and your playing and your ability to entertain people. And everybody go follow Nathaniel on Instagram. Follow him at Chicago Music Exchange. Check out his videos over there. They're very interesting and fun and compelling, and we love it, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Lindsay, always great to see you. Andy, have fun up there in the slightly warmer Northwoods. What are we going to do next week? We're going to be back, that's for sure. We'll have a show next week. We don't know exactly what it's going to be because we had to shuffle some guests around, but thank you all. We appreciate you so much. Bye, Mom. Take it away, Andy.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
What was it? What was it? It was prime time. It was prime time. What the heck was it? Well, that was prime time. Nathaniel comes from Ireland. He grew up in the UK. He busts down Michigan Avenue. Soccer is the sport he plays. He's a full-time guitar guy. It's taken him 10 years. He always wants to get better. He says to always use your ears. Yeah, he's like a damn guitar jukebox, pulling songs out of his head. He can go on all night jamming, but we need to go to bed. Thanks for watching Primetime on a Tuesday. Thank you, Nathaniel. We'll see you all next week.